Yes, we have Samson hitting strike one, but is it a case where Samson had strike one, strike two, strike three? Because you know what we always say, after strike three, you're out. So in strike one, instead of learning, things got from bad to worse as he then again got in an entanglement. Yes, yes, yes. You may have known where that was coming from. He got entangled with another Philistine. So the man of God was more interested in having a relationship with someone that was not of his kind, with his belief in the realm of holy communion. He chose a Philistine, not an Israelite. Interestingly enough, this one was a prostitute in the city of Gaza. In the city of where? Gaza, yes. So the man of God chose someone in the world who was not just of the world, but the prostitute in the city of Gaza. And Gaza is very important because Gaza means a place of stronghold. So if you get entangled in this situation, guess what? That there means that you will be in bondage. You will be shackled by the neck, shackled by the hands, shackled by the feet, because you will be in a place of a stronghold. So it's hard to break the stronghold. When he was placed in this area, he should not have been. The enemy surrounded the city to capture him because this man was a strong man. So if you, as a well thinking person of God, decide to go into the enemy's camp, what do you think the enemy is going to do? The enemy now has leverage, power, and authority. But Samson was still under God's covering and covenant. So they came to that place of stronghold, and the enemy, the Philistine, came around to accost him, to terminate him from existence. But because the Spirit of God was still with Samson during this period of time, he escaped. He took away the door and the posts of the city gates while he was running for his life. So too, when you are unequally yoked, when you desire to be yoked with people you have no business dealing with, so too will you have to run for your life. Have you ever heard of people saying that, hey, this relationship was good until it wasn't? What if the relationship was never good, but because your eyes were covered in the illusion and your emotions were entangled in the illusion of the elixir that you were consuming? That was what caused you to feel that the relationship was good. Truth and error cannot intermingle. So now let us move into strike two. I can assure you that if you follow the instructions of the Lord, He can turn your Gaza into a place of refuge. The only way this will happen is if you let Him. Do you want God to turn your Gaza, to turn your place of stronghold into a place of refuge? He is willing to do that. Many persons do not enjoy the relationship that they are designed to enjoy because they are not pre-fitted with the prerequisite to enjoy the preparation for the progress into that which they desire. Sometimes we take things out of season, and when we eat a fruit out of season, that there is an aberration. Strike one, Samson. Let's get into strike two. On his quest to pursue his desire, and desire is what kills many men. It doesn't only kill men, it paralyzes and cripples women. Because when their desires are kindled, the truth can be in their face evidently, but they will not see it. Yes, they will be blinded to it. But let us get back to the story of Samson so as we can shed some light so you don't have to make the same mistakes that Samson made. So, on his quest to pursue his desire outside the will of God, he found himself in the arms. Oh my gosh, he found himself in the arms of another, guess who? Another Philistine whose home was in the valley of Shurek, and her name was, oh my gosh, Delilah. Sometimes you're saying people don't learn. You have one bad relationship, then you go into another bad relationship, and just preparing yourself to go into the other bad relationship. And if you look at the commonalities of all the relationships, you realize that all the relationships were basically the same relationship, just a different persona executing the relationship. So sometimes you have to ask, is the problem, is something really wrong with the person that is getting in the relationship, or the persons that they're selecting to be in a relationship with? So her name was Delilah. Delilah is basically a meaning to say flirt. According to the name Delilah being a flirt, she actually met and exceeded expectations of the name she was assigned. His lack of self control caused him to become addicted to the woman of Philistine, women of the world, harlots, and prostitute, causing him to live a life of dissatisfaction as he led his soul into destruction because of the woman that he allowed into his life. 3 times she inquired of him to reveal the secret of his strength. 2 times after he told her something, she tried the same thing he told her, and she called her people of the world upon him. So sometimes you have women entering in men's life and they are there to tear that man down, but not the woman of God. But he overcame after those 2 times, and she did it again. After all this, on the 3rd request, he told her, and again she called the men upon him. This time, what he told her was the truth. And the truth in that instant, in that moment, was his downfall. He told the truth to a woman who need not know the truth, from where his strength comes. The symbolism of his hair was what allowed him to have the strength. He went to her a strong man with his hair on his head, and he left her chambers as a weak and bald man, soon to have his eyes gouged or plucked out. He was then repurposed to now do what the animals would normally do, and that is turning the wheels, in grinding like the horses, in mowing like the yoking of 2 oxen. When people of God decides to go their wayward way, we see that people of the world will take advantage of their disadvantaged situation which they place themselves in, and then they will exploit because they have no good desires for you. So I implore you to stay true to the will of God. Strike one, Samson. Strike two, Samson. Let us see if Samson learned his lesson or did he have a strike three.